She's the fucking lady in the lake, dude. Oh. Yo, what's good? Eazy Breazy Eeb here, and today I'm reacting to The Haunting of Hill House episode 1. Now, some of you may have seen me from reacting to The Haunting of Bly Manor, which I had never seen Hill House. I had found out about Hill House like when it came out on Netflix, but I decided not to read it because I had the book and like this was always in front, but I kept shifting it, pushing it, and like I didn't get to read it. And then Bly Manor came out and I'm like, man, I really want to watch Hill House. Then I found out Bly Manor is not really a sequel, so I watched Bly Manor and I thought, man, you know what'd be cool? Let me finish reading this book first. So I finished Clockwork Orange, made a video about that. As you guys can see, check it out. Subscribe and check it out. And then I decided to read Hill House, the book. And then I'm gonna react to it as someone who had read the books. Now here's the thing. After watching Bly Manor and reading Hill House, I don't really see like exactly how they would turn this into an episodic. You know, like in the book there are 9 chapters, but it wouldn't really make sense to make like, for example, 1 chapter, 1 episode. It wouldn't make sense because there's no sort of like every chapter doesn't have its own story sort of thing. It's just like events happening chronologically as one story, you know, all the way beginning to end is like the whole book. I also noticed as well, this episode 1 is called Stephen Sees a Ghost and the character is called Stephen Crain. There is no Stephen Crain in the book. There is a Hugh Crain, and I'm not gonna get into the differences between the book and the story right here at the beginning. I'll save that for the end of the video. So I can already tell like there are changes just from the name of that character, Stephen Crain. I don't know anything else. I just kind of saw that while I was looking for the name of the episode, and then it said Stephen. I was like, what the fuck is Stephen? There's no Stephen in the book. And there is a Hugh Crain in the book and there's a Stephen Crain in this show. So I'm really interested. I'm interested to find out what's going on. I'm interested to see some of the favorite actors from Bly Manor also be in Hill House. That would be cool as well. And I'm just ready to get into how this adaptation will work. So for this show, since I've read the book, what I'll do is I'll react to the episode like I usually do. And at the end, while I give my, you know, sort of review of the episode, I'll also mention, you know, the differences between the book and the show. I do plan on doing another sort of separate non-reaction video of the adaptation of this book from page to screen, but that'll be a whole separate thing, and I'll do that only after I watch all of this season. So what I'm excited to see is I'm excited to see our characters. I'm excited to see Eleanor. She's the sort of the POV character in the book. I'm excited to see Dr. Montague. Do they keep the same names in the show? I don't know. I'm excited to see Theodora. I'm excited to see Luke. There's also, you know, Mrs. Montague and Arthur coming later, but I'm really excited to see the main 4. I'm also curious how they're going to show the house. What is their vision of how the house looks like? I have it in my mind, what I think the house looks like, but it'd be interesting to see it, you know, actually made as a set. So I'm excited to watch that as well. Yeah, man, you know what? I've been talking too much. I'll save the rest for the end. Let's just get right to it. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, appreciate it. So let's just get right to it. Oh man. Like I breezed through the book, so the writing is very good. Shirley Jackson.
No
amazing writing.
Oh,
who is this?
Reality.
Is this Dr.
Even
Montague?
Oh,
the tower.
Before my family moved in.
My family.
More. Within, walls
Is that
stood upright.
Luke?
Brick silence steadily against the wood and stone. Walked alone.
Pictures. Then, interesting. This is not how the book starts, by the way. We don't start at Hill House.
It's okay, Sam.
Huh.
Go back to bed.
Kids.
Sure, I'll wake up Mom and Dad.
Another kid. Another kid. This is
Okay, now.
4 more kids than in the book.
Scared?
Because Nellie's with
Luke! Nellie? Nell? Nell?
Boy,
Wait a minute.
better take a look.
Oh man, they must have changed a bunch of things. Hey, he's the guy from Blind Manor.
She's long gone. I guess everybody can go back to bed now.
Luke and
Remember
Nell,
what we talked about before?
they have the same music as Blind Manor.
They can still.
Similar at
That's
least.
right. Yeah. Back to bed, Stevie.
Stevie. So that's Stevie. If that's Stevie Crain,
Now I know that bent neck lady is really scary. Sweet dreams.
okay, right away, right? Nell and Luke are characters in the book. They're by no means siblings. And this family dynamic right now, it is not what happens in the book at all. That hallway,
And sink in the red.
but the house seems accurate. This long hallway. How loud is my volume? I forgot that the Haunting series has scares. Oh, what are we zooming into? Now that the setup of the characters is different, oh, fuck, jeez, a fucking asshole. I wonder if the scares will be. Hey, it's Homegirl.
Nellie had a nightmare.
I wonder if the scares and the supernatural aspects will be similar, at least.
Pandas don't like macaroni though.
Mm-hmm. Is this Nell? Okay. I have a feeling Nell is going to be the main character. Her name is Nell.
Luke.
What is that behind her? Oh, something's behind you! Something's behind you! It's a weird face lady. Carla Gugino. Oh, okay, the dynamic is all different, man. Dynamic is different. Luke and Nell are in the book, but they are by no means siblings. The sculptures. I'm so ready. Oh, the house's architecture is fucked. That's for sure. Rooms hidden in rooms.
Pulled into his cheeks.
The water motif is new. I'm pretty sure it's not in the book.
It's a very interesting story, Mrs. Walker.
This has got to be the paranormal, the guy studying the paranormal.
Irene, I'd also like to sleep in that room tonight.
Goodness.
She's like, okay,
Can't
that's up
promise
to
I'll
you.
write your story in my book.
Oh, of course.
It's possible.
Writing a book.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay. That is right. There is a character in the book. His name is Dr. Montague. He studies the paranormal in an academic sense, and that's what he likes to do. He likes to go to houses and try to record it. Stephen
I'm sorry, I should
Crain.
have told you I'm a fan. That's my favorite, the first one.
Stephen Crane is writing about all the houses he
And whatever
lives
walked
in.
there, walked alone.
Danvers, Alcatraz, Queen Mary, or in Williamsburg.
There is Stephen Crane is the Dr. Montague of this show. That's
The way
crazy.
you write, I just assumed.
Other people's stories.
How are your brother and sisters doing?
Brother and
I
sister.
wonder-
Yo, this is crazy.
How are they doing these days? You know who
Nell.
I wish would write a book? Your dad.
So Stephen Crane has taken, he's not an academic, he's a writer, but he's writing about the
Just
paranormal.
tonight.
Victoria Pedretti, I'm guessing, plays Nell.
They sleep here. Okay.
And now they're in this show, they're all related to each other.
All right. Just tonight then.
Not only are they related to each other, Stephen Crain, I'm guessing this is Hugh Crain, which...
Hey, will you grab her blanket?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that at the end. The family dynamic. That's what we'll talk about. Okay. You're gonna leave her on the couch? No. Don't leave her on the couch. She wants to get back to the house. Surely. What, the kid can
You
see?
keep sitting on my bed at night,
Mm-hmm.
touching my hair.
He got that sixth sense.
And her eyes must hurt
Why?
Why do you say that?
because she doesn't blink.
Oh my god, that's fucking creepy. Nell is the Nell character. Steven is the Steven character. Steven is the Dr. Montague character. Luke is gonna be the Luke character.
Sure.
Is she gonna be the Theo character?
It's great.
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like they're analogous.
Hey, I think you really nailed it.
Shirley and Theo.
Really sounds
They don't
like
seem like they're
on the
analogous.
website. Mr. Dudley found something for you.
Mr. Dudley!
I don't know if this
The
is gonna
caretaker
work,
of the house.
young lady.
Key. Oh, it's the stairs! Oh my god! Oh. It all looks so new.
Anyone would know where the key is.
What do you think is in
I bet the dad's name is Hugh
Where's
Crain.
the patent key?
I bet the dad's name is Hugh Crain.
Something.
Or a pony.
Has
Not
to
a
be.
pony. This isn't working.
Can he just use that big hammer?
I want to see what's in there too.
It's an emergency!
There's someone behind that door, first of all. Oh my god.
I know you don't need me to tell you this, but literally everything is an emergency with Nell. Cash or he's still in rehab, which means we stay out of it.
So Luke is like the black sheep.
Yeah? You working?
That's interesting. I'm excited
So
because
does this stuff, capture the.
there's a lot of originality, and
Don't believe in that word.
it keeps me, I'm now I don't know what's gonna happen. At least not as much, right?
You're talking
So
about the
it's
word
really
itself.
fun.
Supernatural. Well, it was just
He's a
natural.
skeptic.
I prefer preternatural. Natural phenomena that we don't quite understand yet.
So does it
Hmm.
capture that?
So I'm pretty sure that's pretty similar to
No
how
just wanted to see if it was there.
Dr.
What was your
Montague,
name
who's the analogous character in the book,
Thanks.
he explains supernatural that way as well. No.
I hope you're well, Nelly.
This guy was in Game of Thrones. That's crazy because, like, now that this has been set up this way, the ending has to be different. The ending's no way it's gonna be the same. So, yeah. Who is this now? Oh, she's lesbian. Okay. This is Theo. Has to be. Has to be.
Hi. Theodora.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, you are.
Where'd you come from?
Live in a funeral home. I'm here for grad school. Sociology. I mean, the program's brutal, but
No way she gives a
I love
fuck.
Boston, man. It's such a great town. What's that about? I'm just kind of a germaphobe. That's okay, none taken. Early.
Get the fuck out.
Oh, Was it something I said? No.
No.
We just did what we came here to do, yeah? I got beer. New friend?
Not friend.
She coming back? No. She's sweet enough, but pile of issues. I just don't think you can really know so much after such a quick encounter. Who's saying it's quick? I'm a giver. You're like a guy. You're worse than a guy. You're like a frat guy. You could live here. I was
Hey,
expecting the pussy
I
break.
take offense to that.
No,
Not
called
really.
me today. She said it was about Luke.
Hey, is Theo one of the sisters in Bly Manor
Luke will show up.
from the past?
Money.
Oh, she is. She's the one that. She's the fucking lady in the lake, dude. Oh.
Or if he does, it'll be
I don't know.
the last
Maybe
time
I'm
you
wrong.
see him.
If I'm wrong, I'm cutting this part out.
Maybe a brick wall when it comes to Luke.
I missed everything they said. Oh my god. I'll look at it back later. Wait, there wasn't anybody there just now? Who the fuck is this? Is this? What's going on here? Ah! What the fuck is this?
Mel?
Oh, that's the father?
What time is it?
Is it the same actor? Because they don't really look alike.
Yes.
Oh my god, the name of the episode is Steven Sees a Ghost. Oh my god.
Okay,
The neck lady? That's what they call her?
where are you?
I'm at home.
Home?
I want you to go to Stephen, please.
You are not home, bro. Did you go back to Hill House?
He's closest, so you go to him.
Sorry to wake you,
Where are you?
Daddy.
I knew it! I knew she's back! Wait, so they got two different actors playing the father, Hugh Crain? God damn it.
Get up.
Yep, they got two different people to play her.
Get up. We gotta get out of here right now.
That's Steven. Okay.
Shoes.
What happened to his hand? Yep. Footsteps and something trying to open doors and footsteps.
We're gonna run.
Oh.
Quiet.
But Steven said he never saw anything before
I'm
the.
gonna carry you. You keep your eyes closed no matter what you hear.
That's why he never saw anything.
You promise? Eyes closed.
Banging. Oh my god. But he lied! He lied! He saw the lady! He said he didn't see a lady. He said he never saw anyone. He clearly saw that ghost. Where's mom?
That's not mom.
Oh, he thinks it's the mom. He must think it's the mom. Uh-huh.
And you stay with her. You keep your eyes
So
on
he
her.
always hates his dad because of that.
I'll see you there. I'll meet you there.
Because he thinks that the dad left the mom. Just leave, bro. You know there's nothing in here. It's almost like he's not doing this to find ghosts. It's like he's doing this to disprove everyone else. Because he never sees anything. Trying to prove to himself that he did see his mom back in the past. It wasn't a ghost he saw. Well, you're gonna see once a night, Steven. Because that's what the title of the episode says. Is that Nell? Oh, Nell. Nell's already crazy. Oh no. Nell starts out like, you know, a bit weird and antisocial and all that thing, but she doesn't start out that bad in the book. She progresses. What the fuck was that? Oh, it's gotta be Luke. Oh, they all felt it? What's up with the long... Water. Oh, it's just dripping. Where's it dripping from? But there's no ghost up there. Oh, but there is a drip. Okay. So it must be... It's not a ghost that she was seeing, but she was dreaming the ghost, but the drip was real. Preternatural. Right? It's just unexplained phenomenon. God damn it.
Used to be a stop
No
sign
ghost.
there until recently, yes? Kids taking
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
moderately trafficked area.
Kids do
The four-way
that.
stop without a sign is the water.
There's a leak.
It was a big storm the night he died. Might want to get that looked at. Water a ghost can be a lot of things. A memory, a daydream, a secret, grief, anger, guilt. In my experience, most times they're just what
That right there. That's the connection.
Why would I want to see?
Most times a ghost is a wish.
my pleasure.
Hill House. Hill House. Hill House.
The fuck, Steve?
Oh, this is when he wrote it.
You didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it.
What's going on?
My brother just raped the family is what's going on. Things haven't exactly been going well with what you're doing to Mom.
Mom was mentally ill. It's a fact. I'll be damned if the apple didn't fall too far from
Oh, wow. Was that supposed to be about Eleanor? Wow.
Nobody's buying the novel, Cheryl.
Hearing from those kids.
Oh.
If we don't give them someone else to
It
write
became
about,
a high-profile
more
case.
It's tabloids. They confirmed it. It
The
doesn't
hand.
matter. They got this off your statement.
The
To
suicide.
police. Thinking clearly that night, we just lean on that. We can't unring
There
this
was a
bell.
suicide in
It's
the
fine,
book.
They can rip me to pieces, but they don't get to take bites out of the kids.
I like it.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
I like the premise. It's not the same as the book, but I like it a lot. The heart is there. And it's adapted very well. Because I was wondering how, you know, they would do it as a show. And I see now.
What do you want?
Troubled marriage.
Arranging the
Is this Mrs. Dudley?
so that your father can sell them. The hills.
So they were all alone?
Oh yes.
The Hills? That's why. That's how they named the house
No one.
in this show. Because there's people
No one
called
will
the
come
Hills.
in here. And you know what those things do, don't you?
They're parlor games. People use them to scare themselves.
This is the problem with schools these days. Do you know the Gospels, young man? He does.
Oh,
Hugh and I decided when Steve
Carla.
was little to
Because there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio.
and are dreamt of in your closet.
oh
good man.
wow.
Well, I don't suppose either of you have seen Luke. Not recently.
So Mrs. Dudley isn't
Sure,
religious,
sure.
or there's really no
Very funny.
mention of religion in the books. So
Mom's
interesting.
How do you spell no girls allowed? I already got those.
G.
That's the girl just now that the father saw. Damn, man. Put the goddamn bags down first. Luke?
Hey, Luke.
My boy.
Hey, Steve.
I thought you were sober for 90 days.
Cold?
Oh, he fell off the wagon after he had that.
You know where to find me.
Oh, he was taking his shit. Oh, wow. Steven was lying to Nell about Luke this whole time. Jesus.
I'm sorry. It really isn't what you think. Good.
He broken. Man, this man is fit as fuck.
Thanks.
So she went to Hill House and came back?
Good scare. You just stood there and watched him loot me? Christ, no.
Are you even there now?
So you hit up everybody, dragged Luke out, made Dad hop on the plane. Shocking.
She wasn't in LA. She was at the house.
Yeah, she's not there. That's a ghost. Who's behind you?
She's dead.
She just changed. Oh! 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 What the fuck? Go save her. Oh my god, dude. That's insane. Oh man. Oh, it's over. Yeah, I'm sure it's done. Oh my god. Oh, so much to talk about. How do I do this? Alright, whoa, what a crazy episode. You know, I'm really liking the premise, and I'm really excited to see what the show brings to this story. I can tell they've added a few more layers to it, sort of to fill out a whole season. Because yes, I think the Hill House book, if they were to be extremely faithful to it, it wouldn't be a TV show. It would be more of a movie, probably, or sort of a mini series. But I like this extended season. They can delve deeper into the characters, because the characters, even in the book, they're very, very well written, and I'm excited. But yeah, let's just get into the differences, between the book and the show from episode 1 that I can tell so far. So the biggest difference here are the characters. Let's start with Nell. I'm gonna guess that Nell is also short for Eleanor. In the show, she seems to have, it's basically she is unstable. As Steven says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So we think that it's also what the mother had, and she has some sort of mental health issues. And it seems to be pretty advanced already in episode 1. In the book, she is sort of this shy, anxiety-ridden, very naive character, and she doesn't really even know what's out there, so she's very antisocial, and she doesn't go towards that realm of mental illness, that craziness, until the story progresses. So it's interesting that in the show she's kind of halfway there already. I don't want to say too much more about Nell though, because I feel like there's going to be a lot about her, especially next episode and as the season progresses, and I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Stephen Crain. So Stephen Crain is not a character from the book. Hugh Crain is, and we'll talk more about that later. But Stephen Crain is basically from the book Dr. Montague. Dr. Montague is this character in the book that he writes about the paranormal, he studies the paranormal, and it's not the same way we kind of think about it nowadays. The book was written in 1960, so that was 60 years ago. But they are analogous, Stephen Crain and Montague, and in this show, he's a writer that writes about paranormal events that have happened in houses that he will stay in, and he'll write the story, but he himself has never experienced anything. It's very similar to the Dr. Montague from the book. In the book, none of them are related. None of the characters are related. Dr. Montague recruits the Nell character and the Theo character in the book because they have a history or predisposition to supernatural events, sort of like they have this sort of sixth sense that's innate in their characters, and that's why he brings them to these houses to see how they react to the house. Luke is related to the house because in the book, Luke is the nephew of the real owner of the house and he will inherit the house basically. So he's also there because he's basically the homeowner, but he never grew up in the house. And none of the characters in the book actually grew up in the house. So that's something very new to the show as well. In the book, he has a wife, Mrs. Montague, who has a fairly big role in the book and the later half of the book, and she also does this sort of ghost hunting thing, but in her own way. She's played as sort of this extreme, hyper, comedic character. She's basically a big cunt in the book, and it's kind of played for laughs as this comedic relief, but she's not like a good person. She hates her husband, and she's there with this guy named Arthur who is like her friend, but also maybe who she's cheating on Montague with, and it's like, I don't know, it's a weird relationship. But in the show, it seems like it's more of a traditional marriage between Stephen and Lee. So there isn't really a Dr. Montague character in the show. Theo is a huge character in the book, and I don't want to go too far ahead of myself, but Theo, I will mention in the show, she's a lesbian, and in the book, we don't really know if she is or not. She seems to be very friendly with Eleanor. They don't start a relationship or anything like that, but they're very close, and it's sort of implicitly shown that Theodore may be attracted to Eleanor in a way. He keeps bringing up Eleanor and what she thinks about Luke in the book, and it's almost like she's kind of digging for answers. But then the relationship sort of changes throughout the book as well, and they have this weird connection. I don't want to say weird connection, but they have a connection that's sort of implied some sort of tension that can never happen because of Eleanor's sort of instability. But remember, the book was written in 1959, so it's understandable why they wouldn't be explicit about, gay issues back then for obvious reasons. Hugh Crain is in the book, and he is a father, and I'm not gonna talk about him yet. We'll talk about that in the next difference, which is the family aspect. So we'll go straight to the Dudleys. The Dudleys are a character in the book. They're the caretakers of the house, and they worked for the owners of the house. And they, in the book, they don't live there as well. So same with the show. The religious aspect of Mrs. Dudley, I don't remember it being a thing in the book. I might have missed a reference to it or something, but definitely it wasn't prevalent like the conversation between Mrs. Crain and Mrs. Dudley that just happened in this episode. That never happens in the book. Shirley, I think the last sister, played by the great Elizabeth Razor, she is not a character in the book as well. And we'll talk more about that in the family aspect, but yeah, definitely there is no sort of Shirley, or not even an analogous character to Shirley in the book. Eleanor does have a sister in the book, but she never goes to Hill House, and it's like she's only in the first chapter, and they don't really have a great relationship. Basically, Eleanor's sister in the book treats Eleanor like a maid. Eleanor took care of their mother as she was dying, which is why she's sort of like that, but we never see her after chapter 1. It's interesting that Hill House in the show is named after the previous owner called the Hills. That is not a thing in the book. In the book, the house is in this small town, almost deserted town called Hillsdale. And it's a town where there's a lot of hills around. So they just naturally call the house Hill House, the big mansion, basically on the hills, right? In Hill House. That's where the name comes from. There is no The Hills. Now, if in the show, I don't know what's gonna happen, but if in the show they do talk about a previous owner, or they go do a flashback or something like that, then the Hills would be similar to actually the Crains, because in the book, they sort of discuss about the original owners of the house, which is the Crains. And it's interesting because the Crains in the book, Hugh Crain has 2 daughters, Hugh Crain, he has 3 wives who all die prematurely in the book while he lives in the house, and like suicide, for example. And the daughters eventually fight for the house. They have argument about who will own the house and things like that. And one of the daughters have a similar sort of relationship with the house like Eleanor does in the book as well. And it's very interesting because the sisters in the book have a very similar sort of storyline as Viola and Perdita do in Bly Manor. So it really reminded me of those two in Bly Manor. So I wonder if that is also something they reference from Hill House, the Bly Manor aspect of Viola and Perdita. Ooh, that was a long one. So anyway, the family aspect. In the show, all of the major characters are siblings, or Hugh Crain. In the book, that is not a thing. They are Luke, Eleanor, Theo, and Dr. Montague are not related to each other. Those are the 4 main people that live in the house since the beginning, since chapter 1. And Dr. Montague brings Eleanor and Theo because of their predisposition, like I said, to supernatural things. And Luke is basically the homeowner. And they stay in the house to record the events for about a week or 2 weeks, and that's sort of how they become this sort of family unit, because Eleanor has never really had a real family that treated her like a person in the family. So that sort of family unit of the 4 people living in the house becomes that sort of family, and it makes sense that that theme of family and what is a family is shifted into the show with an actual family, and they've basically combined the Hugh Crain family into the main family of the show, and in the show they're just called the Crains. So that's very interesting. But no, in the book they are not siblings, and they are not even related to each other by any means. So the 3 paranormal events that I can think of from this episode was the lady with the long hair, or big mouth. I don't know if it's the same apparition or not. There's also the shadow behind the door. We don't know what's behind that door yet. And there's also whatever ghost was trying to open the door with Stephen and Hugh Crain in the flashback. So the only one I can say that happened in the book is that banging on the door and trying to open the door while people are behind it in the room. That does happen in the book, and it happens more than once. I don't remember any specific woman apparition in the book. There are apparitions that I'm not gonna spoil it, some characters see or do not see, but in the show it seems like there's that specific ghost character who is a woman with long black hair or big mouth, or they say with the neck, I don't know, but it seems like that is sort of the baddie ghost in the show, which there's nothing really like that in the book. The book, the supernatural, and I'm gonna talk about that after I watch all of these episodes. I'm gonna do a separate video sort of analyzing the family aspect and what is a ghost, right? Because the book makes it very, very subjective of what you call paranormal. It's almost up to interpretation of the reader. So it's very interesting to see. And I'm gonna talk more about that. It's very similar to the speech Stephen gives to the lady in the episode 1, where he talks about, what is a ghost, right? So there's that aspect of it, and I'm really interested to see how they sort of adapt these ghosts in Hill House for the rest of the season. And final thing, I just want to mention technology. The technology of now versus 1959 is very different. So how we do this sort of ghost hunting is very different, especially with Stephen Crane's character. Here he has his, his heat vision, thermal camera and all that stuff, like the ghost hunters you see on TV. But in the book, there's none of that. They sort of just do things empirically through observation. How do you feel? What did you see? They just experience those things, and he writes it down, he jots it down. So yeah, so that long analysis there, not really analysis, but it's interesting to see the differences between the show and the book. And I'll do it every time for every episode. It may not be as long as this one because it's the first episode and the book is still fresh in my mind, but I'm very, very interested to see this season. I really am, and I love the scares. I love the whole haunting sort of aesthetic, how they do these. I love Bly Manor very, very much. I know some people didn't, but if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you guys did. And I can't wait to watch episode 2. So go ahead and hit the like, and go ahead and go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. If you already did, I very, very much appreciate it. It really helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, more differences coming up. Episode 2 coming up as soon as I edit this video. It'll take longer to edit these videos than my usual reaction videos, and you know, because of this sort of aspect of it, this from page to screen aspect of it. And yeah, until the next video, I'll see you there. Just remember, Eazy does it.